We are talking Tilden Hooper's 92-point ride to win Fort Worth, Cassie Mowry's arena record, some wild bronc riding in Dickey's Arena, Kincaid Henry off to a quick quest to win a world title, and much, much more. Ladies and gentlemen, this is No Huddle Rodeo, and we are going to dive right in with all things Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. The first stop on the Texas swing, and we are going to start where every rodeo starts, because this rodeo started with a bang in the finals in the bareback riding. Tilden Hooper put on a show, 92 points on Disco Party. Horse came out of the chute a little slow to pick him up, but once he picked that horse up, one of the most beautiful bareback rides you will see. Just perfect timing between the veteran Tilden and that Calgary Stampede horse. It all ends up, like I said, with 92 points on there. It's Tilden's highest marked ride since October of 2024. He won $27,400 in Fort Worth. All four of his rides, 85 points or better, 4,400 in his bracket, 3,000 in the semifinals, 20,000 to win the finals. That is about as cleanly as you can do it to win a bracket style rodeo. And he is now right away, all of his money for the year is concentrated to Fort Worth. All of that $27,400, it sits him into the top 5 in the PRCA World Standings. Jake Lee's 91 points in Fort Worth. He was the first guy out in the finals. He was sensational. He was sensational in bracket 1. He tied for the win in the semifinals with Tilden Hooper, and then ends up second in the finals with that 91-point ride. So you stack all of that up for Jake Lee's over $20,000 in Fort Worth. He is actually number 1 in the world, and then at number 2 in the world is Wasey Shala, the guy who came in came in third in Fort Worth. Won $8,000 there. Cole Reiner in 4th with 87.5 points. He was also 87.5 points to win Rapid City over the weekend. So looking to restart an NFR streak that snapped at 5 for Cole Reiner, but it was all about the veteran Tilden in the bareback riding. He tips the hat to Bob Tallman afterward. He shouts about a really, really good moment and a really good way to start what was a very good finals in Fort Worth. As part of that finals, Kincaid Henry wins the tie-down roping as the second to last guy out. Marty Yates put up a 7-7 early on. Kincaid responds with a 7.5 second run. He still had to wait to see on Haven Medjid. Haven didn't quite do it, still picks up a nice check himself, but Kincaid now number 1 in the world after what he did in Fort Worth, what he did at the Sandhill Stock Show and Rodeo, and a 7-5 with the pressure on, knowing that you already have to beat a 7-7. He said on Western Sports Roundup earlier this week that he likes it that way. He's okay with that. He would rather have to beat 7-7 to win a rodeo than have to beat 8-9 or something like that, because he said he looked up when he was 8-5 in the semifinals. He looked up and he saw that 12 seconds was all he needed to get into the finals, and that didn't quite get in his head, but kind of changed how he made his run. He didn't want to have to do that in the finals. He did do that in the finals. Could have been a little faster too. Took about a half second to even get the calf on the ground when he did. Incredibly fast there, incredibly efficient. The horse worked great for him in the finals, and now he is over $41,000 for the year. He won the Sandhill Stock Show and Rodeo as well. So we've had 3 playoff series rodeos so far in the 2026 season. 2 of them have gone to Kincaid Henry, and that was something I was really watching out for going into this season in pro rodeo. One of my personal biggest storylines was who could compete with Riley Webb. Could anyone compete with Riley Webb after 3 straight world titles? Right now, Kincaid Henry, the first to submit his name as someone who can certainly do it. And right now, ladies and gents, we have got a really salty top 5 in the tie-down roping. Kincaid Henry, number 1 at $43,772. Marty Yates, number 2. As I mentioned, he was number 2 in Fort Worth as well. Blaine Cox, number 3. Haven Medjid, number 4. So that's pretty indicative of what happened in Fort Worth. but then waiting right there with $24,000 is Riley Webb once again. And so Kincaid Henry, small setup, short start, 7.5. This is a guy who had 4 times 7.3 seconds or faster at the NFR this year. And so he delivers with the pressure on, passes a big test in Fort Worth. Someone else who's passed every single test that has been thrown at her in recent years is Cassie Mowry, a 2-time world champion. 16.04 to win the short round. And what did she do with that 16.04? It was the fastest run of the rodeo. It was an arena record. It delivered her a Fort Worth title. And now Cassie Mowry is the only active pro rodeo athlete to win every single Texas swing rodeo. She has won Fort Worth. She has won San Antonio. She has won Houston. She has won Austin. She has won San Angelo. On top of all of that, not only has she won every single one of those rodeos, like I mentioned, she set the arena record to do it in Fort Worth, to emphatically put an exclamation point on what is basically winning the Grand Slam in golf or tennis, is winning these Big 5 Texas swing rodeos. Not only that, though, she has done it all since 2024. So in the last 3 seasons, not even, in the last 2 seasons and change, she has won the 5 biggest indoor rodeos in the state of Texas, the 5 highest paying rodeos in the state of Texas. We know she has got her system. She only goes to 25, 30 rodeos. It has worked for 2 gold buckles the last 2 years, and already she has got that nest egg of over $25,000, so expect her to do the same. And we need to point out, the star of the show, in addition to Cassie Mowry, when she won those 5 rounds at the 2024 National Finals Rodeo, was her 2024 Horse of the Year, Jarvis. She was back on Jarvis to get it done at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. In the bronc riding, it took at least 88.5 points to advance to the semifinals. It was a field that was basically up and down, nothing but NFR qualifiers. And boy, did they ever deliver. 3 rides of 90 or better. It took 89 points to get a check. And then every single cowboy rode for at least 88 points. But the guy I really want to focus on, in addition to Darcy Radell, because we can't not mention him riding for 91 points, the Aussie, tying with Rusty Wright. But we need to talk about the historic start that Rusty Wright is on right now. He has made over $70,000 this season. For reference, the last 2 years, your number one at this time after Fort Worth has been Cade Bruno with $40,000 in 2025 and Wyatt Casper with $34,000 in 2024. Rusty Wright, who has not been to the NFR since 2020, who has struggled mightily, especially by Wright family standards, over the last 4 or 5 years. Rusty Wright has made over $70,000. He has won the Wilderness Circuit Finals. He has won Fort Worth. He has won the Cinch World's Toughest in Des Moines. He has won the Chase Hawks. He has made 17 qualified rides this season. On a dozen of them, he has won a check of $2,000 or more. On 11 of them, he has been 85 points or better. He is averaging 85.9 points for the season. That would have led the PRCA a year ago. And you add all of that up, and we are not even midway through February. It is not even Valentine's Day yet. And Rusty Wright is at over $70,000. He is halfway home to getting back to the National Finals Rodeo. But I think after everything Rusty Wright has been through, getting to the National Finals Rodeo would certainly be a big-time success. But it is now time to recalibrate what is possible for Rusty Wright this year, because he should very much be considered, as he always has been, especially from a young age, to join his brothers, to join Stetson, to join Ryder, and to join Statler as a world champion. Rusty Wright has the start to do it. He has the skill to do it. And things are really, really lining up for Rusty Wright. 3 rides of over 90 points in Fort Worth. Won every single round he competed in at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. We're going to end here by talking about some bull riding. And this is not so much what happened in Fort Worth. Trey Kimzey gets it done in Fort Worth, and he took full advantage of the bracket-style rodeo, and this is what the bracket-style rodeo is all about. You survive and advance. If you move on and you keep moving on, you will have a chance if you are up to the moment in the finals. Trey Kimzey had just one ride entering the short round in the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. That one ride was only worth 80 points, but then we got to the short round. Only two guys rode in that short round, Trey Kimzey and Lane Vaughn. Trey Kimzey was 88.5 points. It paid him $20,000 for doing so. And so what I really want to focus on, though, is some of the other guys who really had their stuff in Fort Worth. Hayden Welsh, 3 for 3 with 3 rides of 89 points or better. Entering the short round, he gets bucked off in the short round. Tristan Hutchings, 3 for 3 with 3 rides of 80 points or 88 points or better, before he bucks off in the short round. And then Luke Mackey, who was terrific at the NFR, who kind of flew under the radar for most of the regular season last year. He wins 6,400 in his bracket. He's 2 for 2. Then he is 91 points in the semifinals. He gets bucked off, but he was terrific as well. So the bull riding started really slow, and we ended up with some really, really good bull riding at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. And before we go, we got to include all the other champions. Bridger Anderson and Tristan Kalawaya, 3.8 seconds to win the steer wrestling. Corbin Cully and Trent Vaught, 5.4 seconds. Not the best team roping round, but in order to get the big paycheck, you only got to beat the guys in front of you. They did just that. And Jill Tanner, the only wild card to get it done in Fort Worth, 2.3 in her wild card, then 2.0 seconds, 2 seconds flat to win the breakaway roping at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. We'll have plenty more on Fort Worth, don't you worry. We're diving a little deeper into all of these stories on Friday as we also preview what to expect coming up at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. We've also got bull riding previews coming up for the PBR, so plenty of content still coming your way the rest of this week. Until then, like, subscribe, comment. I say it every time. Help us spread the word about No Huddle Rodeo. And we'll be back, like I said, 2 episodes of No Huddle Rodeo this week, breaking down all things Fort Worth, previewing all things San Antonio. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.